What if I told you that 1 in 3 home buyers in the Louisville, Kentucky area were searching to move out of the city? According to recent Redfin data, 33% of those searching for a home in Louisville, Kentucky were actively looking to move away and not stay. People are leaving Louisville, but what is the cause of this? In today's video, I'm going to give you the top 5 reasons why people are moving away from Louisville, Kentucky, and more importantly, I'm going to tell you a few of the reasons people are choosing to stay. Be sure to stick around till the end of this video because I'm going to actually tell you where all of these people are moving to, and the answer might surprise you. The first reason people are choosing to leave the city is crime, safety, and local perception. Now, I've lived here for over 13 years, and I can tell you that the crime rates are getting worse the longer that I'm here, and honestly, it's alarming. The chance of being a victim of violent crime in Louisville is 1 in 122. The chances of property crime is 1 in 26. Louisville is said to have crime rates 92% above the national average. Violent crime is 110% above the national average. Louisville reports that there are 562.5 violent crimes per 100,000 people, placing it 8th amongst comparable cities. It's important to note that location matters. Block by block and street by street can really make a difference. For those of you interested in digging into these crime reports, I always recommend crimegrade.org. It has a really simple system for looking at crime. It's color-coded: red, orange, yellow, green. You can search by street, by zip code. You can really get into each neighborhood and what the crime is looking like for that specific area. Another resource that I always recommend is looking at the LMPD crime map. This is going to give you every single incidence of crime by street in the city of Louisville. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on all things Louisville, Kentucky, and real estate. I'm Katie Skeen, your Louisville, Kentucky real estate expert. Every day I get calls, texts, emails, and Zoom invites from people exactly like you looking to make the move to the Louisville, Kentucky area. So if that's you, go ahead and drop down into the description of this video where you'll find all of my contact information. I would absolutely love to hear from you. So whether you're moving from out of state or just across town, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. The second reason people are leaving the Louisville area is the rising cost of living. According to Redfin, the median sales price of a home is $275,000 here in Louisville, Kentucky. That is up 8.9% in comparison to the same time last year. In addition to the increase in home prices, there's actually been significant increase in the cost of renting here in the city as well. In some reports, 1-bedroom rentals have climbed towards $1,200 to $1,400 a month, depending on the neighborhood that you live in. Now, of course, this could be true really of anywhere in the entire United States, as we've seen a significant increase in home prices. But what's not happening here in Louisville is, as some of the coasts and other states have seen some slowing and even some drops in some areas, a lot of price drops, we're actually not seeing that to the same extent right now here in Louisville. Appreciation has definitely slowed in the recent market, but it is not declining. And so with the interest rate environment, you might be wondering, can I even afford to buy a home in Louisville, Kentucky, or can I afford to rent? If you're questioning whether you should rent or buy, you're probably going to want to watch my video about renting versus buying here in Louisville, Kentucky. Housing affordability has become a real problem here in Louisville, which is causing many people to leave the city. The third reason people are choosing to leave the city is because of traffic, commute times, and the sprawl that's happening within our city. The Louisville metro population is projected to grow to 1.34 million in 2026. This is putting so much pressure on our interstates such as 65, 64, 264, and 265. They're just not designed to handle this many people. And as many people are moving out of the city and our kind of population is growing to these surrounding counties, it's increasing the commute time significantly. The average commute time has increased to 26 minutes, which is significantly higher than even 5 years ago. Now, some of you that are coming from big and major cities are probably laughing at the 26-minute commute time, but for us Louisvillians, this can feel like a very long commute. Now, I will say the city is making an attempt to relieve some of this congestion in the traffic patterns. We do see a ton of construction happening. Right now, it's happening where 64 intersects with the Gene Snyder Expressway out on the East End. And I know that a big project is coming in 2026 where they're going to shut down part of 65 right near the city for a significant amount of time. So every time they try to improve, there's this short-term cost, which ends up being, years plus of construction, which causes horrible delays during the evening commute. The fourth reason people are choosing to leave is because of the public school system. Here in Louisville, we have the Jefferson County Public Schools. It is one school system. It's one of the largest school districts actually in the entire nation, and it serves over 95,000 students. There are many complaints in this school district about the quality of the education, student assignment process, overcrowding in the schools, some of the facilities being run down and not being kept up. JCPS has very low proficiency scores. Only 45% of JCPS students are proficient in reading and 38% is proficient in math. Niche has recently ranked JCPS as 51st in the state for public education. Because of the concerns about public education, many families are packing their bags and choosing to move to surrounding counties like Oldham County, Shelby County, and Bullitt County, where the school system tends to be a little bit more straightforward and easy to navigate. The fifth reason people are choosing to leave is neighborhood growth and identity change. There's quite a bit of gentrification happening right within our city. I think Germantown is a really good example of this. We've seen tremendous growth in this zip code and area over the last 10 to 15 years. There is this really unique mix of people who've owned their house for a really long time. Maybe they're the original or even the second owner. They were German immigrants. This is like their family's home. And then there's a lot of young professionals moving into the area, kind of taking over these houses. And while Germantown was historically a working class kind of neighborhood, now it's turned into a place for young professionals and urban hipsters. So this is pushing growth outward, as some people aren't even recognizing the neighborhood that they used to live in. Now, I'm not saying all these changes are bad, it's just different, and it's causing people to shift and move outside of our city. Germantown is actually very much an up-and-coming neighborhood where a lot of people want to move. And so if you are interested in learning more about that Germantown neighborhood, it's going to be one of the more walkable options within the city of Louisville. Be sure to check out my video about living in Germantown so you can get all of the pros and cons about what it's like to live there. As you can tell, Louisville is not a perfect place to live, but there are lots of reasons why people are actually choosing to stay within the city and absolutely love living in Louisville, Kentucky. Here in a second, I'm going to tell you a couple of reasons why people are choosing to stay in the city, but before I do that, I wanted to make sure you were aware of my relocation roadmap. This is a free resource for you if you're considering moving to the Louisville, Kentucky area. There is a link down in the description of this video. I would love for you to download this free guide. I created it for people just like you because I remember what it was like to relocate here over 13 years ago, and I was completely overwhelmed with the process. I didn't know who to turn to or where to start, and that's why I made this relocation roadmap for you. It breaks down the relocation process step by step into easy, manageable steps so you can have a plan when you think about your move here to Louisville. The reasons why some are still choosing to stay or still choosing to relocate here, many of them, it's because the cost of living here in Louisville is still much more affordable and they can get a lot more house for their money in comparison to where they've lived maybe on the West Coast or even on the East Coast or places within the Southern United States. I have so many clients relocating here and they're just shocked at what they're able to buy with their money here in Louisville when it comes to housing. Our city also has such a strong sense of community, and I think it has so many wonderful cultural amenities for a mid-major city. The food scene is fantastic. We have a lot of entertainment coming to town. Of course, the Kentucky Derby here, which is what we're famous for. You've got the bourbon culture, art scene, St. James Art Fair. There's so many local cultural traditions here that make it a really fun place to live. And then of course, our location within the United States is so convenient. So wherever you're trying to get to, we are very much centrally located within this region and within the country. Now, I promised to tell you where all of these people are actually going to, and I told you that the answer might surprise you because while many are choosing to move to places like Cincinnati, Ohio, and Lexington, Kentucky, the majority of people moving outside of Louisville are moving to one of the surrounding counties: Oldham County, Shelby County, or Bullitt County. It's just a little bit of a further commute. It typically has better crime and better schooling situations for people, but it still has convenient access to all of the amenities Louisville, Kentucky has to offer. So does that surprise you? Tell me in the comments. Where were you expecting all the people to be going? Did you really think they'd be moving away from this city? Tell me your thoughts. I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.